How's it going, everyone? My name is B, and today I'm going to be talking about a question that often pops up when we're struggling with OCD. This channel, we're focusing for the time being on OCD, but also anxiety, mental health, and just trying to live a better life, basically. So, the question that often comes up, and I faced it a lot when I was going through my struggles with it, and it comes up for a lot of people that I speak to who are going through OCD, is something along the lines of, I've been better for a while, and now OCD has just come back, and it's just this silly thought, and like consciously or intellectually, I know that it's not real. I know that it's OCD, but I just can't let it go. Like I can't drop this thought, even though I know it's rubbish and I know it's not real. All of that, I just can't let it go. How do I let it go? What can I do about that? And this came up for me all the time, and I think where it stems from is there's like a fear of OCD coming back. So the fact that you're even worried about it when it comes back in that way, when there's a slight relapse or there's OCD thoughts and this type of thing, it means that fear is still present, right? So you still have that kind of root fear behind it. And what I wanted to kind of talk about as well is the idea of that you have to do something to get rid of it, right? So it's a natural thing that we think, because in life, most things, there's an action that needs to take place for us to change that circumstance or that situation. So, for example, like, if you want a better body, for example, you might go to the gym, right? So there's an action that takes place, and then an outcome comes after that. OCD is strange in that there's no real action that can be taken in the moment to change how you feel. And this is the thing with OCD and us that suffer with it, is that we almost have a belief that we can change our thoughts and we can change how we feel in the moment. So this is the hope that we kind of carry with us, where we think that, if I could just do certain things. So for me, sometimes I would meditate, because I heard that's good to do. So I might meditate, and I'm trying to meditate my problems away, or my thoughts away. Or sometimes there was a couple of times where I'll just say, just stop thinking, just don't think about anything. Again, this is you're doing an action to essentially like have a non-action, right? To have a non-response, which is the cure for OCD. That's why I say that, because how you really get out of OCD is you literally don't do anything. Like, you let the thought, you accept. It's almost like radical acceptance. So you let the thoughts come, you let them do what they're going to do, and you don't respond to them. You have no response for them. So in a way, it's almost like a non-doing, which is hard to explain, but it's hard to explain to the mind, because if you want, that's how we've been programmed. If you want an outcome, you have to do A, B, and C, and you will get this intended outcome. But this is not the case for OCD. This is completely counterintuitive and completely different to how you've probably lived your life before, and how you've experienced just, doing things, right? Like, so it's a complete flip on that. So we really have to understand that ultimately radical acceptance is what we're striving for. So in that sense, you don't do anything. Like, you literally don't do anything. You practice being uncomfortable in that moment. So the OCD is going to come. The thoughts are going to come, right? The thoughts come, and the thoughts make you feel a certain way. So if there's a fear around the thoughts, you'll feel fear. You'll feel fear, or panic, or something like that. And this fear, this feeling is there's nothing you can do necessarily to get rid of it. You can't, once it kind of takes over, you can't get rid of it. Like, feelings can't just be pushed aside, right? There's certain things like if you, and I'll talk about this in another video, or possibly a course. But yes, if you kind of maintain a healthy lifestyle and things like that, you're less likely to feel bad, essentially, right? So it's not that there's nothing you can do, but what I'm talking about is in that moment when you really want to get rid of it, you can't do anything. Like there's nothing to be done. So letting go is paramount. But then the idea that letting go is almost like a verb. It sounds like something that you should do or something that you can do, which is almost like it's misnamed in that way, because letting go is the act of specifically not doing anything, right? So what I want you to keep in mind is this sentence, right? You cannot get inaction from action, right? You can't, in other words, you can't do something to get inaction. Or another way to say it is that you can't get peace from action, right? So peace, as in everything being settled, is a non-action. Like it means nothing. Nothing is happening. Nothing's going on. So in the case of OCD, it really just, as I said, it really just comes down to acceptance. So you have to be able to accept all these thoughts that are coming in. And again, accepting is not a verb in this context, right? It's not a verb. It is just what it is, right? Accepting. So that means when the feelings come in, there's no response. There's nothing. It's just you just watch the feelings. You're not scared of them. You let them be. You might obviously you're gonna be you're gonna have these same habits. Your mind and your body is almost attuned to having OCD, meaning that when the thought comes in, the feeling comes in, you then fight it, and it runs on autopilot because you've established that for so many years, maybe, or however long. But that pathway in your mind is already established, so automatically it's going to do that. So you're going against your mind in a certain way. You're going against the neural pathways in your mind, and you're kind of countering against them. So what we're really doing is not doing, right? So your mind is going to say, do something. When that feeling comes in, we need to do. What can we do? Maybe we can meditate. Maybe let's go for a run. Let's do this. Let's talk to someone. Maybe we talk to someone, right? So this is your mind. Your mind is playing this over and over again, and your response has to be not to buy into that, and realize that any path you take that way means that it's going to last longer. The whole OCD spell is going to last longer, and it's going to take longer to get over it. So what you need to do is just watch those thoughts. Just watch them, let them pass. Think about it like this, right? So if there's a stone in your shoe, like a little pebble or something like that, and you can't get rid of it, you can't find it, you've taken off your shoe 10 times, it's still there, there's something there, right? In that case, you have two options, right? You can, really you have one option. One option is just to fully accept it, and after a while, you'll probably forget that it's there, like it will be there. Every now and then it will prick you a little bit, and you'll be like, oh that thing's still there, oh well. But for the most part, it's not going to affect your life. You're going to be able to get on with everything that you were going to get on with. It's just, there's just something in the background, right? The other option, which is how we OCD people handle it traditionally, or normally, is we keep trying to get rid of that stone. Even though like we've taken off our shoe 10 times, 11 times, 20 times, we keep taking off our shoe, we touch our feet, we're like, what is going on? Where is this? What is going on? And we spend all our time trying to get rid of it, and none of our time living our life and just accepting it and living our life, right? And this is what it is. This is what it is with OCD. Exactly the same thing. We can't accept it, right? We're having trouble just accepting that it's there. We know, we're in the example of the shoe, the stone in the shoe. If it's there, you know you're going to be uncomfortable, but you just keep going. Like you just keep going because your life is to be lived, right? So eventually that stone kind of wears down and it disappears almost, right? Or maybe you feel it once a week, let's say. If you keep fighting it, you'll be fighting it constantly, and it will never wear down. Like it will never go, right? Because I don't know, kind of stretches the metaphor, but the more you look for it, like the more it's there. Or the more it doesn't stretch the metaphor, I'm still there. The more you're aware of it, the more it seems to affect you, the more it seems to hurt, because you're so hyper focused on it. Every time you step, and it gives you a little bit of uncomfortableness, you're like, oh no, and then you create a whole story around why you're uncomfortable, and you're like, oh, I should have, if only I didn't wear these shoes, oh, if only, blah, blah. And then you create all these stories around it, and all of these stories take you away from what you need to be doing, which is just accept that it's there, it's just there. And this is exactly the same with the thoughts. So anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, but that's just a quick one. I'll catch you on the next one. Look after yourself, do all the right things that you know will help it. Go towards recovery, don't go towards OCD. Thank you.